Oh man, I am so excited to play Feast for Odin Night. You excited?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love all the different options, like 6 different worker placement spots. What's your favorite part about it?
It was at this time that Mike had to choose whether or not to be honest that he had never played this game or lie about it. He chose to lie about it.
The part with the Feast for Odin?
Oh yeah, it's kind of a weird efficiency thing, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
What's up, everybody? My name is Nick.
I'm Mike.
We are the Brothers Murph.
And it's time for another Top 10.
It is.
We're talking about Shelf of Shame / Shelf of Opportunity.
To have a positive spin, it's a Shelf of Opportunity.
Indeed. We're talking about a bunch of games that are behind us that we have not played yet, but would really like to.
I will say, we are generally relatively good about not having a big Shelf of Opportunity.
We don't typically have many, but we do have at least 10, and that's something we need to work on. But these are games that we are interested in. We have every intention of playing. It just hasn't happened yet.
Will at some
So
point.
basically, you need to help us determine, you need to play them in this order, and we'll give you the order in which we are kind of most excited for these games, but this is our Shelf of Opportunity.
Our number 10 Shelf of Opportunity game is Pappy Winchester. This is a game we've had for a while, and I think we haven't played it because I feel like it's gonna be better at higher player counts. And for the most part, it's just me and Mike playing games, but this is a game where you have your Pappy Winchester, and Pappy Winchester has a lot of money, a lot of land, and a lot of stuff. And unfortunately, Pappy Winchester just died. Real sad. But now you as the family members gotta divvy up all of Pappy Winchester's stuff. So you have all these land plots, different things, and you're essentially gonna be auctioning on these different things. And then you're auctioning on like this land plot right here, we're gonna auction off, you auction it, and then if you get it, you then get different things. And there's also like a railroad that goes through, and if the railroad stops, if the train stops next to something that you own, you get extra stuff. It seems really cool. I love the theme. I love the whole like, a rich uncle died and you're fighting for an inheritance. I think that's a very funny, weird, fun theme, even though that does happen in real life and sometimes it just like ruins families. But nonetheless, as a silly theme for a game, I think it's fun. And then putting that into an auction game just makes sense. So I really want to try this game. I just think it's not going to be great at 2. I'm actually not even sure if you can play it at 2, to be completely fair. But nonetheless, we're waiting until we can play it with 3 or 4. So someday we'll be able to do that. It's going to be great.
So number 9 on our Shelf of Opportunity or Shame is Telestrations Upside Drawn. This is a flip on Telestrations where you're gonna be working with a partner, and one of you has to hold the pen, and the other person has to move the canvas upon which you draw. And you as the pen holder are trying to guess what you're technically drawing. And so it really kind of falls into the same feeling of Telestrations where there's going to be some amount of communication lost between the clue and what's being drawn, but here it does a really fun way of making you work with a partner. And I just love the idea that like you can either hold the pen or you can lift the pen up and drop it down. That's all you can control, and you're the one actively trying to guess what's being drawn while you are the wielder of the pen. So it's just a fun party game, just like Telestrations, but it's one that I'm like, this will be really fun to play. We haven't had the ability to have a party with which to play Telestrations yet, so that's the only reason it's on the Shelf of Opportunity, but it is our number 9.
On number 8 is a game called Belfort. Belfort is a tasty minstrel game, and this is a game where it's just like a worker placement area control Euro game where you have like dwarves and you have elves, and it's a worker placement game where you have your dwarves and your elves, and they can go to different spots. So some spots only elves can go, some spots only dwarves can go, some spots both can go. And then you have this big like pentagram board, and it's a really cool looking board that kind of separates. So you can, I think, switch some stuff around, but on that board, there are buildings you can build. You have these cars that are buildings you can build as well. And when you build those buildings, you put like one of your like little Monopoly buildings out there, and that's like some area control part from what I can imagine. And then I know that you have your elves and your dwarves, and you can upgrade them to like mega dwarves or mega elves. They're better versions of themselves essentially. And then when you go get resources on your own board, those resources double. So it seems cool, a little bit of area control, a lot of worker placement. We love area control, we love worker placement. It's got a cool look, and we just haven't played it. A friend gifted it to us because they thought we were gonna like it. And it's just one of those games where we're like, I'll learn it next week. And it's just like, it's just sitting on our, it's right here. It's right there. I can see it. I'm touching it right now. And we haven't played it. I don't know why.
Number 7 takes you 20,000 leagues under the sea. It is Nemo's War. This is a famously kind of a solo game that now has been converted to be a little bit more of a cooperative and solo game where you're doing submarine stuff. I honestly don't know much about what you're doing and everything, but I love the setting of 20,000 leagues under the sea. I love the giant squid and the mystery of the bottom of the ocean, something that I'm genuinely kind of terrified about. And wonder about like what's on our own planet. We could worry about the stars, but what's at the bottom of the ocean? I got no idea. Blobfishes and things. And so Nemo's War seems like a really cool setting for a board game. We just haven't had a chance to get into it. It's a bit heavy, a bit dense, and we just haven't had the energy, I suppose, so far to give it a go. But it's one that I look forward to trying and maybe soloing, since that is sort of its original intention was for it to be a big old solo game. That's Nemo's War.
Number 6 is kind of like an expansion. It's kind of something that brings a whole bunch of games together, and that is the Tomesaga for the West Kingdom trilogy. So the Tomesaga is kind of like a little expansion that links Architects of the West Kingdom to Paladins of the West Kingdom and then to Viscounts of the West Kingdom. And you essentially play through all 3 games. And the games are slightly different because of the Tomesaga. And you essentially play through all 3 games. At the end of it, there's one winner. And that seems so cool. I love that Shem Phillips did this with this kind of trilogy. I think it's such a cool way of like, hey, I'm gonna give you a way to play all of these games together. And we're like, that's so cool. And we adore the West Kingdom trilogy. We love Architects, we love Paladins, we love Viscounts. We're gonna love this, and we just haven't played it yet. I think with this one, the reason is because we're really gonna wanna play all 3 games right back to back to back. And that is a bit of a time commitment. Each game is between an hour and 2 hours depending. And that's something that, you know, having 5 to 6 hours just straight to sit and play a game doesn't really happen to us very often because we're working constantly, you know, and you got dogs and stuff, all this kind of stuff. And so we just need to find like a weekend where we can just sit down and do it. Sit down and just play in one day. I think it'll be so much fun. We just haven't had that time yet. So this is one we're actively really trying to play. We just need to have a little bit more time in the day.
So number 5 isn't so much a game, but it's an RPG system. This is Overlight, which was made by Renegade Game Studios, and it's kind of a way to get into role-playing games easier. It kind of holds your hand a little bit more, makes it a little bit, again, easier, more accessible, which is something that I think is really fantastic because I'm someone who really wants to do more RPG stuff, but I'm really a little bit terrified about like, there's a lot of things that you can know and study, and I don't know any of it. And so this drew us in also mostly because Kwanchai Moria did the art, and Kwanchai Moria is probably our favorite artist, certainly one of our favorite artists. So this is just a big book of awesome art. And I kind of am happy with it existing as a coffee book, you know, a coffee table book, something to look at, but we do also want to play it someday because it is meant to get people into playing role-playing games. So Overlight is our number 5.
Number 4 is a game that everyone says is really, really, really good. And we have it. And we have the expansions. We haven't played it, and that's War Chest. I don't know. I don't like the box. I really don't like the box of War Chest. I just think it looks very bland. And we have it because people talk about how good it is. And we keep hearing about how good it is. And we haven't played it. And we should, because everyone talks about it and how good it is. And this is a big shelf opportunity. This is a game where I don't really even know much about War Chest. I just know how much people talk about it with the expansions, how much people talk about those. And everyone seems to really love this game, and we just haven't played it. Like, should we? Should we play it? Should we play it that box? Really? We probably should.
Number 3 is The Search for Planet X. This is a game that I've been actively excited to try. I've sort of read the rule book, and I have this strange mental block about it where I just can't quite get it to the table. And you can solo it and everything, and I hear it's really good solo, so I don't have an excuse. It's this weird mental block, but I hear it's really great. This is a competitive deduction game where people are going to basically be searching for Planet X, and there's going to be rules about, oh, it must be next to this thing, or it cannot be next to that thing. It has to be over here. It can't be over here. Everyone's getting pieces of information, and based on that, you are trying to whittle down to one final location that must be in this place. And you're trying to be the first person to put together that puzzle. You're trying to be the first one to kind of deduce it. I really like deduction games that are like that. Social deduction are okay, but things like this where you can get to a definitive answer and it's sort of, you can really employ logic. I don't know if I have much, but I try to use what I do have to get to an answer for something. So the search for Planet X, I think setting it in space is a really cool way to do that. And then having that kind of changing rules for the game, like from game to game, so it's not gonna be a rinse and repeat, you know, leaves a lot to explore. So this is one that I know I'm gonna enjoy when it gets to the table. I just have to do it finally. That's number 3.
Our number 2 is the Ruin of Thandor expansion for Hero Realms. So this is another expansion, and this is an expansion that we are so excited for. And we found out about it, we immediately went out and got it, and somehow we've never played it. I do not know why, but we love Hero Realms. Hero Realms is kind of a sequel to Star Realms, except set in a fantasy world, and we like fantasy more than sci-fi. So, but they're very similar games. And it's really, really fun. This is a little deck builder, a 2-player only deck builder, but the cool thing is it jumps you right into the middle of a deck builder. So usually in the beginning of a deck builder, you have a very basic hand. You can't really do anything. You have to like build up, and then all of a sudden you're awesome. Hero Realms, Star Realms 2, you start off and you're just immediately awesome. You just immediately can buy super OP, crazy cards, and you just fight. It's real quick, real fun. And the Ruins of Thandor makes the game co-op, and you're going against big bosses. And we're like, you made this amazing game co-op, we're gonna like it even more now. And we probably will. But for some reason we've had this game for like years now. We got it right when it came out, and we just haven't played it. And I don't know why. And we just kind of have this like weird block against it now. We're also more like, now it's been too long. And we can't like play it now because it's been too long, and it's gonna know that it's been on our shelf. I don't know, whatever, you know, but sometimes you get that weird block with games. We have that with this expansion. I'm not entirely sure why, but we need to, because we love this game, and it's gonna be co-op. It's gonna be amazing. We gotta play it.
Our number 1 is another one that I was talking about. I don't know why we haven't played it. This is Pulsar 2849. This is a game that seems really cool. I've heard a lot of good things about. It's Vladimir Suki, who's one of our very favorite designers. Every game from Vladimir Suki we love. So why haven't I played it? I don't know. I need you to convince me. Please help me. This is a big old space game. Vladimir always does really interesting things, makes very tight games typically, and I actually really like that. I'm kind of surprised by how much I like the tightness of Vladimir's game. So I imagine all of this will be true in Pulsar 2849. I just have to try it. So that's the one that to me, I'm like, you really have no excuse. It ticks off a lot of the boxes that you typically look for in games. So why are we waiting? I will hopefully overcome myself soon and play that, because it is our number 1 shelf of opportunity game.
Cool. So that was it. Down in the comments below, let us know what's on your shelf of opportunity. Be real with yourself, look into your heart, and tell us what game are you looking forward to the most?
What are you hoping to de-shrink finally, punch out and finally play?
De-shrink it. We always de-shrink everything immediately.
Absolutely, everything's punched. We have no excuse for not playing.
Just sitting there, yeah.
It's just ready to go. But that is our shelf of opportunity, shelf of shame games that we look forward to playing real soon. Let us know yours in the comments below. Until next time, I've been Mike.
I'm Nick.
We are the Brothers Murph, and we will see you in the next top 10.
Bye, everybody.